Hi, Lisa McNett here to offer you my self-care Sunday tip of the week. And my tip of the week is about saying no. You have permission to say no to things, to anything. Saying no can sometimes be the absolute best form of self-care that you can practice. If you are stressed out, feeling overextended, just anything, if you don't want to do something, you don't have to do it. And I imagine some of you drop a little comment below if you're like, heck yeah, or drop a comment below if you're like, oh my gosh, that's so scary, right? Because a lot of us feel obligated to do things, and yeah. So I used to say yes. Reasons that we say yes to things that we don't want to are because we feel obligated, as I just mentioned. Maybe it's a family member or maybe it's a friend, and we feel like, we have to always do. And maybe we think that the other person won't be okay without us, right? Like we have to help the other person, or they're going to be mad at us, or they're going to be upset with us. Another reason would be like fear of missing out. Well, I don't really want to do this, but I might miss something really great if I don't do it. So, but oftentimes, and I wonder if you can relate to this, when we say yes, when we aren't interested in doing something, we bring some negative feelings into the situation. So maybe we start to build a resentment. We can potentially get mad at the person, get mad at somebody because we said yes. Have you ever experienced that? I'd drop a yes or a no, right? So sometimes we get mad or we feel some resentment that we feel like we felt like we had to do this when we're the ones who said yes. Another thing that can happen is there's unclean feelings between people. Unclean feelings. They can feel something. Maybe they feel something from you, and maybe you've even experienced, somebody saying like, oh, what, you're at an event that you didn't want to go to, and they know, and somebody notices, or everybody notices, and they say, oh, what's wrong? What's happening? You don't seem yourself today. And maybe you drop a, I'm guilty, maybe you've lied. Maybe you said, oh, I just have a headache, or I'm just tired, or something like that, making, an excuse for why you're feeling, when really you didn't want to be at the thing to begin with. And that is the issue. So, you can say no. And I know for some of you that can be super scary and feel like, no, I can't. And maybe you feel this immediate resistance. So I'm going to share what helped me when I initially started saying no, and what actually still helps me today. Is I don't say, like, if I have an immediate response, then I give the immediate response. But typically, especially when I was just practicing with this, I ask for more space. So a really great way to give yourself space is somebody, hey, Lisa, what are you doing Saturday night? We're all going out. You're coming. Let's go. I stop for a moment. I take a breath. And I'll say, wow, that sounds great. I'm not sure if I'm available. I need to check on a couple things. I will get back to you by set a time or date. Maybe I'll get back to you tomorrow. Maybe you want to have 2 days. But give yourself time to consider if you actually want to make the commitment. And also give that person the consideration of knowing when you are going to respond. So especially if somebody is pressuring you, you're like, okay, well, Lisa, sometimes somebody wants to know right now. Just because somebody wants to know right now doesn't mean you are obligated to answer right now. And that's really important. And it's really important for you to assert your needs as well. So I need an answer right now, Lisa. I hear you. I really need to check my schedule. and I will respond to you by tomorrow afternoon at 4 o'clock. Okay, that is gonna help them because now they know when you're going to respond and you have the space to make your decision. So, when you say no, you do not need to explain yourself in any way. And it's actually better if you don't. You can say no because you feel like staying at home in your pajamas, watching movies, cuddling with your dog, and that is nobody else's business. So, you can just say, I'm sorry, I'm unavailable, I can't, I have another commitment, please let me know next time. Or if you feel like you want to spend time with this person, you can set an invitation, you can offer them an invitation, like, hey, how about Sunday afternoon for tea instead? So anyway, not to make this too long, try it. You will feel better, so much better, if you honor your own needs, if you give yourself the space that you need in your life, whether that's space to feel into making a decision, and maybe the decision is yes, maybe the decision is no, but giving yourself space to really feel into whether or not you want to make a commitment before setting that commitment. And two, if you feel like you need space and you're saying yes to too many things and you're over obligated, giving yourself that space that you need by saying no to the invitation. You might at first feel a little bit guilty when you're sitting at home in your pajamas cuddling with your dog, like, oh, I kind of feel guilty. But that's an opportunity for you to connect with yourself and to remind yourself and to remember that you're doing that for you, and to really honor and celebrate the fact that you made that decision for yourself, because that's beautiful. And when you start to do this, when you start to say no to the things that you don't want to, then your yeses become more heartfelt. The things that you choose to participate in, you'll be happier about participating in, and your relationships can potentially really grow stronger and strengthen and blossom because you don't have those unclean feelings of, like everything I said before, you're saying yes, but you don't really want to be there. And then that's in the relationship. You're saying yes because you want to be there, and you're showing up happy, and you're honoring yourself. You're having fun with your friends, and so yeah, that is my self-care tip of the week. Say no when you want to say no. Next Sunday, we'll talk about saying yes. So have a great week.